Hey guys, Utah Steve, back for another hike. A very windy one. We're at the mouth of Ogden Canyon right there, and the wind is just howling through here. It is 8:30 in the morning, 47 balmy degrees. And today I just want to do a kind of a short hike. It's at the very least not a difficult hike. We're on the Birdsong Trail right here in Ogden, and there was a fire here on September 6th. The whole side of the place caught on fire. This is an easy trail, and in fact my kids' school has come here on a field trip before with little first graders. So it's a very kid-friendly hike. I've taken my own kids on it. Several years ago we hiked this, and I thought we would come back and check out the burn scar, see what kind of damage the fire did. Here are our surroundings. That's the parking lot. That's Ogden Canyon right there. It's very windy. Hopefully my microphone filter is filtering out a lot of the wind noise. Beautiful morning. The sun is actually up, it's just hiding behind the mountains there. And later today it will be 77 degrees, so it's not going to stay cold. Anyway, here's what we're looking at. Keep an eye out for wild animals. Bears, snakes, coyotes, mountain lions, and mooses. Moose. I've been corrected before. It's not mooses, it's just moose. It's like saying deers. Keep your dogs on a leash. Just some basic stuff. The Bonneville Shoreline Trail is the main trail that goes up along these mountains for quite a distance, both directions. But we are just here for the Birdsong Trail. A very short and sweet hike. Closed means closed. It's not closed though. So let's get started. I'll fill you in on the details of the fire as I know them, as I've been able to find anything online. You can see here is our signage. Bonneville Shoreline Trail is that way. Birdsong Trail is this way. This is a short but beautiful hike. At least it was the last time I came here. The reason it's called the Birdsong Trail is in the spring and summer, these trees that we're walking into are inundated with birds. So it makes sense. What happened with the fire? Let's talk about that. So on September 6th of this year, 2022, at about 4 p.m., a fire broke out right along this trail. I have researched the snot out of it, and the closest I've been able to find as to a cause of the fire is that it was human caused, possibly by homeless people. My guess is they were trying to cook something, who knows. The fire was discovered by homeowners nearby. We'll talk more about this trail and how it leads into a neighborhood in a minute. It looks like somebody lit a fire, it got out of control, and they just took off and didn't tell anybody. And so it spread quite a bit before anybody spotted it. This is an interesting trail because it goes up to the top of a ridge, and then it goes straight into a neighborhood. And then you walk down the street of the neighborhood and come out of the neighborhood and go back into the mountains, and you just kind of make a big loop back to the parking lot. I'm not going to go through the neighborhood. It's weird, and most people will comment about that when they hike this trail. If you see the reviews of it on all trails, a lot of people have said it was kind of weird walking through someone's neighborhood on a nature hike. So we're not going that far, but what we're gonna do is go up this way, check stuff out. That's where the fire was, up this direction. And then I'm going to come back down and kind of hit the other end of it where there's still mountain area of the trail. I'm not sure exactly how many acres burned in this fire. I'll put it up here on the screen if I can find it. It's a Monday morning, my favorite day to hike because the weekend is a madhouse through here. And I'd rather not hike when there's... I mean, this trail is really close to the city, so it's very popular. Mountain bikers, hikers, kids. Mondays seem to work really well for me. I don't work Sunday nights typically. Once in a while I do. And by Monday morning everybody's going back to work, easing into their work week, which I don't do until tonight. So the only elevation gain on this trail, it's very mild, is right up here. We're starting at it right now. As you can see, we're slowly making our way uphill from the parking lot. The leaves are changing quite a bit now. Every week they get a little more intense. I know other parts of the country they've already flipped. They're still working on it here, apparently. It's been chilly at night, upper 40s, low 50s here in Ogden, and 70s during the day. So here's our main elevation gain. We open up to this beautiful area right here. And then we're going to go up this hillside here. And that'll be the most of the elevation gain. Very kid-friendly trail for sure. Already we can see where the fire was, some of it, and that hillside right there is pretty charred. I'm glad it didn't hit these trees. It's pretty amazing that the firefighters were able to stop it from burning all of this. I live about 5 minutes from here. My neighborhood's just not too far away, and because of its proximity, the fire's proximity to the homes that are up here, they actually had to evacuate people from their homes that were right bordering the trail here. So it was a little bit tense there for a bit. I wondered if I would have to evacuate, but it didn't get that out of control, thank goodness. I was sitting on my porch. I could see the smoke from my house, and there were planes flying over and dropping water all through here. Planes and helicopters fighting it just like you would a forest fire. Oh, it was pretty crazy. A little bit of a drop off there. You can see we're making our way up a little further. Boy, it's chilly. That wind combined with 47 degrees. So down here it looks like is where the fire cutoff was. There's some burn marks on some of these trees. Some of the sagebrush is burned up. We're about level now with the canyon, so it's gonna get intense as far as the wind goes. Look at that. So that was the worst of the incline, the elevation gain, if you can call it that. I hope this comes out okay. It is super windy. This is insane. I didn't expect all this wind. All of that hillside burned. Yeah. Looks like mostly the sagebrush took the brunt of it. This was all sagebrush right here. So as we hike up here, there's a scenic ridge. Whew! That wind is something else. This was all sagebrush. I sat in this with my kids when I hiked up here 2 years ago. Wow. It's getting intense. Those are some serious wind gusts. Woo! Alright, here's the overlook that I was talking about. You can see how burned this is. That's a restaurant down there. There's all the houses. All this poor cacti, even it got burned. There's a road right there that was closed. You can see how much vegetation there is through here, and how easily people could have lost their homes. The whole hillside. That was all trees and sagebrush. Boy, I'm having a heck of a time filming this. I won't even know until I edit it if you can hear me. I do have a pretty good filter on my microphone. And this wind is insane. You can imagine if this was on fire, and this kind of wind came whipping down the canyon right there. It's a recipe for disaster. tripod won't stay up in the wind. Wilson! That's pretty crazy. Those are golf balls from the golf course. Obviously. Well, they were at one time. Look at that. Okay, so from up here, this is kind of the top of the trail. It goes down into a hopefully less windy area. I think it will be. I think it'll shelter us from the wind. So let's get out of the wind. They did an excellent job containing this. You can see where the water was dumped and it just washed the hillside down. It looks like a sandy beach right here. We're gonna go down in these trees. We're out of the wind now. Thank goodness. Holy cow. Hopefully you can still hear me talking in all that video. If not, I'm gonna have to throw music over it with an explanation. All of this burned, and look, they were able to contain it to just right here. Now this goes down and then the trail goes up again, and at the top of that hill is a neighborhood, and those are the people who were evacuated. Here's the view of Ogden. Beautiful morning. Got Ben Lomond. All those people living down there. This fire could have easily gotten way out of control. It was a hot day. Here's looking up at the hillside. I'm gonna take a bunch of pictures of this and throw them up on my Instagram page. I'll put that up here on the screen. If you're interested in following me, you'll have to request a follow because I get a lot of bots, fake accounts following me, and I'd rather have actual genuine people following me on there, but you get to see a side of the hike that you don't always see in the videos. My hands and my ears are cold. First time this season I've gotten that cold because of that wind. It's insane. Boy, if you had a tent up there, it would just blow away. It wouldn't even try to stay put. Some more of the burn. This seems to be where they started cutting the fire off. You can see some of the leaves got a pretty good smoking. Yeah, the tree trunks are blackened. There's a bird. Hey, little guy, how you doing? Okay, so this goes down into kind of a ravine up here. Starting to see a lot of birds through here. Big ones, little ones. Look at that. Beautiful fall colors. when I was here last, this was flowing pretty good. This little creek. It's just kind of a muddy mess now, but it's quite a beautiful creek when it's flowing. So this is the area that I was talking about. This is kind of the bottom, and from here it goes up and just goes into that neighborhood. So I'm not going to continue from this point. Bench was saved. I need to get my hands warm. Thank goodness. I really thought this part of the trail, which is kind of my favorite, the way it goes down in and it's so secluded, I thought this would have burned for sure. So I'm glad it was just the mostly sagebrush, it looks like, that burned. And you can see proof that homeless people sometimes hang out here. It's kind of a dugout there, some garbage, toilet paper, whatever. I'm not touching it. It's not a huge place for the homeless to hang out, but it does happen here and there in the summer. I don't know where this goes. Just kind of dead ends. See, someone's built a kind of a bushcraft shelter right here. And I'm sure there are neighborhood kids that live up there that come down here and play. I know I would if I was a 12-year-old. I don't see any recent evidence, really, not a lot, of any homeless encampments down here, so I'm just greatly relieved that the bulk of this, most of the trees were saved. I'm really grateful for that. Such a beautiful area. So what I'm gonna do now is hike back out. I'll spare you the return trip, plus it's gonna be windy up there. I'm gonna snap a few photos. Then we're gonna go up the other side of this trail. Like I said, it goes up this hill to the neighborhood, and then you walk through the neighborhood and come back around through some mountainous area into the parking lot again. So it's just a big loop, but it's weird because it goes through someone's neighborhood. So let's go from there. I'll come back when I get on the other side. I don't think it burned that direction. It looks like it's mostly just this hillside up here. And I'm grateful to the firefighters who kept it under control. Okay, we're down off the hill. Back where the trail splits. There's our trailhead. Here's our signage. What we're gonna do is take this trail now and just go in a little ways. There's Life Flight. Alright. My camera really took a hit in that wind. The lens cover won't shut automatically now. Hopefully I can spray out the dust and get it working again. You can see now that's where we were. That's the incline we took up, and that's the hillside that got burned, that entire thing. The sun has come up over the mountain, not specifically where we are, and that means the wind is finally starting to die down. That was insane up there on that hill. That was some intense wind. Boy, if there was a fire up there now, there would be no stopping it with that kind of wind. Well, that's gonna do it for this video, guys. Just short and sweet, really. The Birdsong Trail burned. It was originally called the Rainbow Fire because that building right down there is Rainbow Gardens. It's a gift shop, restaurant, cafe, I don't know. Never actually been in there. But they changed it to the Valley Fire. I don't know why they decided to change names of a fire. It's kind of weird. But the road that I showed that runs right underneath the hillside there is Valley Road. So maybe that's why they called it that. Luckily the Rainbow Gardens were spared. The Timber Mine restaurant was spared. All of those people's homes were spared. In fact, you can see where the fire was burning on that hillside, and then you come up the ridge just a little bit and there's someone's house right there. I bet they were sweating like crazy watching that burn. Okay guys, that's it for this video. On to the next. Do yourselves a favor. Get off the couch. Get outside and have some fun in nature. And be responsible with fire. The views. The views are spectacular. If you can't get off the couch, come along with me. I could use the company. See you in the next video, guys.